In this tutorial, we're going to go through how to set up the workshop and program booking confirmation email. In your template pack, go to the folder, which is labeled booking confirmation emails, and in the workshop HTML file, copy the code and let's use that to set up our workshop booking confirmation email. Go to courses, templates, and go to add a new template. And let's call this workshop booking confirmation email. Set up a category, enrollment emails, and it's a standard type. And the default subject should be something like workshop booking, online booking confirmation. Margins, we'll put 3, and let's take off show header footer and enable advanced HTML mode. Now click on source, remove what's already in there, and let's paste in the contents from the file. When you press the source button again, you will see preview and you can see what the email will look like. Now, to adjust this to your organization, what you need to do is go back to the source mode and then search for the word light, and you will see the first instance, which is the URL to the logo. You need to go to your images library, so we will go to resources, and in a new tab, we will open up the media library. In there, you want to open up your logo. Click on your logo, right click and go copy image address, go back to the template, and in that URL we want to replace it with the URL you just copied. Right at the bottom there's a signature as well, so you can either search the word light or you can just scroll to the bottom and you will find another URL that you want to replace with your logo again as well. Now if you go to the preview mode, you will see that both the logo has changed on the header and on the footer. What you then need to do is go back into the source, and we need to search for colors that we want to replace. Now the color that we want to replace is the code. So if we do Control F or Command F and then search 5597FF, you will see the color hexadecimal that is there, and we want to replace it with your branding colors. Okay, so I'm going to replace it with the color green. I'm just copying that now, so I've copied it to my clipboard, and I'm going to replace it with the pound key there. So instead of the original, we've got pound and we've got the new code. Now search for every instance of that and you can replace that with your own color. Now there's a few instances there. You can either do it in a text document where you can do find and replace, and do it much quicker. But for this demo, we're going to do it the long way. Once you've replaced the color codes, you can go back to the preview mode and you can now see that the entire template has changed to your branding colors. You'll notice this blue image that's tiled in the background. That is optional. You can choose to turn that off or keep it on, and you can replace that file as well. So if we go back into the source mode, you will see that there is a background image URL right at the top here. Okay, and what we can do is we can either use our logo and we can replace that URL at the top there, or we can actually remove it. So first of all, I'll just put it like this. You can see that it doesn't really look that well because it's not sized right. Okay, otherwise the other option that you can do is you can just remove this entire background image code. So background image, I'm just going to remove it, but if you did have a tiled image, you can do that as well. So you can see from background image to this semicolon, we want to remove all of that. There we go. And then if you click back on source, you can see that it's now nice and clean. Now, let's go through the email. Basically, it's confirming that the student has enrolled. It's got some of their information. And then it says here, if you were enrolled into this course on behalf of your organization, please complete your enrollment below. Now, this is optional. You can remove that entire area, but that basically will go to a post-enrollment form if you've got a two-stage setup. Also in this template, we have the ability to create a learner portal by clicking on that link rather than creating a learner portal automatically. Okay, so this is a technique where by clicking on the link, you create a learner portal. You will need to turn off the setting in your system settings. So if we go to system settings, there is a setting in additional options where the learner portal gets created automatically. So you'll turn that off if you want to keep that feature in the email. We then have extensive information on the booking confirmation email, and the information gets pulled from the workshop type settings. So in the workshop type settings, there is an area where you can fill out information. So if we go to business essentials, you'll see that all the information is filled out from the short description to the introduction and all of the other key areas. If you want to have a nice image in your template, ensure that you follow this code here. We will put that in the template files as well, under the file image code. What you need to do if you want to replace the image in here is you also need to upload it to your resource library, and then you need to then copy that image and paste the URL here. So how we do that, we go back to the media library, we find the image of the course, for example this one here, we right click, we copy image address, and then we navigate back and we replace this URL all the way to the end here. There we go. Okay, so that's how you would replace that image with a new image. You have the ability to remove any of these areas on the template by just going to the template, and clicking on source, and you can scroll down to this area where you see this table, and you'll see this table has these TR elements, and each TR element is a row with that information. So you can see trainer email, trainer name, duration, time. If you want to remove one of them, you would just remove that row like this. Also, the other blocks of information are here as well. For example, whether you're a returning learner is that block there. If you were enrolled on behalf of someone else, is that block there. So you can just simply come into the source mode and remove that code. Down below, you'll also see training delivery details. We went through that. And then we also have this note, please read carefully. You can put any information you want in here. And if you find it too difficult to edit it in here, you can go to the source mode, scroll all the way to the bottom, and you will see a section called this div here. So you can see in here, we've got terms and conditions are as follows, and then we've got that information there as well. Okay, so you can edit that as well. Or you can just go from the front end and you can just click on that information and you can just put some other information in there. Or you can remove that entire block completely. Everything else is pretty dynamic. All this signature gets filled out dynamically. So we can just save this as it is and then we can test it out. Okay, so I'm gonna save this now. And I'm going to go to an existing workshop enrollment, but in your example or in your situation, this email will be sent out automatically with online enrollments. But let's just see what it looks like by forcing the email to be sent out. So I'm going to go to this Business Essentials workshop. I'm going to click on, I'm going to send an email to D. So I'm just going to go to select action, template. We're going to search for this template that we just created, which is the demo, submit, and then you'll see it populate the information. I've already put the complete enrollment link to an example post-enrollment form, but you would put it to your post-enrollment form so you can see how it just goes straight to the post-enrollment form on our demo online enrollment website. Also, because I'm already signed in, this button has changed to sign in with Google, or it has my email. But if I wasn't signed in and I was a student that hadn't created a portal, this button would look a bit different. Workshop details also have an extended feature where you can click on the location and it will open up Google Maps and it will show that location right on Google Maps as well. And then we have the additional booking information field where you can put specific information from the workshop type settings. The additional information here is where you can put in specific information for each particular workshop. So you don't need to make a separate workshop template for each workshop. You can just put your specific information into these fields. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and email this. And I'm going to click on email again. And then we should receive an email shortly. And here we go. So we've received that email and it looks pretty good. And it's got very extensive information. It's got the image nicely displayed and the workshop information as well. Moving on to the program booking confirmation or classes booking confirmation email. It's a very similar process where you just go add new template and we would call it program booking confirmation email, and then complete the steps as we did in the last template for workshops, but instead we want you to now copy the program HTML file into the body section while removing the headers and footers and advanced HTML mode. Go into source and replace the contents with the program booking confirmation email. This one is a bit different because it's got just program information, and the way that you edit the program information is just by updating a photo, and then we've got the short description. We don't put the long description in there. It doesn't have the long description template field, so it's just got the short description. So you can go into courses, qualifications, and for example in Cert 3 in carpentry, you can see that we have the short description information there, and again the code for this section will be in the folder as well. Okay, so you can go ahead and modify that template as well. It's very similar to the workshop template where you're replacing the logo files and you're replacing the color for branding purposes. Once you complete both those templates, you want to go into the template area again and go into default system templates, and then you want to ensure that you have these templates selected as the default. So for example, the new workshop booking confirmation email demo that we created, you want to go in there and you want to press update so you can assign that to the online workshop booking email text template. Then you also want to do the same thing for the online class booking email text template with the class or program template that we created as well, that's in the folders. Okay, thank you for your time and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial.